And here we go. Welcome to the Knights of Lucky Podcast, episode 2, where I am living in my mother's basement. Literally. No, this is my room. Welcome again to the podcast. If you hear like wind, that is the sound of a raging blizzard outside. No, I'm joking. It's the it's the air conditioning. And if you hear that, nope, that is not a robot slowly breaking apart. It's my chair. So, yeah. Let us chat, shall we, about stuff. So, usually at the beginning of this, I go ahead and start talking about stuff, like entertainment-wise, so we'll start with this. So, there is a Wakanda show coming out for good old-fashioned MCU. Basically, it is reportedly being directed and taken care of by Ryan Coogler, who famously directed, Creed and obviously Black Panther. Guy's a fantastic director. Don't know what it's going to be about, because obviously, Chadwick Boseman has sadly passed away. Rest in peace. So I don't really know what it would cover. Whether it would cover like Shuri and the T'Challa family, King T'Challa's family and whatnot. So we don't really know a whole lot, but it's pretty interesting. I'm kind of excited, honestly. Wakanda, I feel, is one of the most interesting places in the MCU, and I feel that them exploring more of it, I think, honestly, is a good idea, because we saw a fair amount of it, but nothing necessarily like really, really in-depth. Like, I want to be on the ground, I want to be through the city. I want to see what's going on. So this could be interesting, because they could kind of bring that element in and whatnot. Don't know who it's going to star or when it's going to take place, but it would be interesting. Like, maybe like it could be kind of like the whole story of, the entire timeline of Wakanda. I think it would be cool, but don't necessarily know what it's going to be totally about. But it seems interesting, honestly. I'm excited by that. I think it's a pretty fantastic idea. I think Wakanda, honestly, is one of the strongest elements and places in the MCU. I think it's the effects, the design, the look of it all. Oh, no way! No way! Oh, hold on. I just saw this. Reportedly, Willem Dafoe has been spotted on the set of Spider-Man 3. No way! Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Dude, that is nuts. That is crazy. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is dope. That's so cool. That's awesome. That is nuts. So let's break that down. That is pretty crazy, I would say. Because famously, obviously, Willem Dafoe is from, the Raimi Spider-Man films, And last time we checked, the dude was dead. He got stabbed in the gut by his own glider. He killed himself! You know, in the end of Spider-Man 1, famously and whatnot, the iconic scene. So, I don't know how this is going to work, because Spider-Man 3 is, Tom Holland has recently said, it's the most ambitious standalone superhero film ever made. And from the leaks, it's kind of getting crazy. You know, I have a lot of faith in Marvel, but I am a bit worried, obviously, because, you know, Sony, every time they really dip their fingers into stuff, usually it never ends well. You know, one of the reasons famously why Into the Spider-Verse was so great was because Sony did not really have a lot of control in that. They were, for the most part, out of it. While you have Venom, which had basically all of Sony's control. So it's apparently clear that they're not exactly the best. Like, they've made good stuff, but, like, man, Spider-Man 2 was over a decade ago. It was almost 2 decades ago. You know? Like, that is a long time. And The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was pretty solid. It was a decent film, but it wasn't, like, good. You know? So, I don't know. I'm worried because all of the stuff that's being announced, and hold on. You can all probably still hear me while I'm yapping. But basically, with all the stuff that's just been announced, it's a bit iffy. It's a bit sketchy, I would say, when it comes to it. Because I'm genuinely worried that Sony is going to just stick their fingers and hands into the film and they're going to just destroy it. Which wouldn't be the first time, and I would not be surprised, but I have the, you know, faith in Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige that they'll try and reel that stuff in. So, but to be fair, this is still rumor, like I said, but you know, like I said, it's a rumor, but I mean, hey, it could be true. You never know. But that's nuts. I don't know how it's going to work, but obviously Multiverse of Madness is a big deal because, you know, obviously it deals with the multiverse and whatnot, famously. And now WandaVision is kind of leading into that film. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I'm very excited, but I just don't want that film to get ruined. But from what I've heard, the rumors are insane. Like, you know, that Tobey Maguire is coming back as Spider-Man. So is Andrew Garfield. So is Kirsten Dunst and Emma Stone as MJ and Gwen Stacy. Then you have all of the villains. Doc Ock, played by Alfred Molina. Electro, played by Jamie Foxx. I think even they said, like, Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church, and Eddie Brock, played by, famously, Topher Grace. And another big news, about a month or two ago, there was information that reportedly Charlie Cox is returning as Daredevil in that film as well. And it's going to be kind of like a Spider-Verse crossover, Sinister Six-esque film. I don't know how it's going to work, but I really hope things end well. I really hope it turns out to be a good film, but I in the end, I trust Marvel. I trust that they'll reel this stuff in, but I think if they do it right, they can pull it off. I mean, they pulled off the entire MCU and Infinity War and Endgame, which are like, those films are absolutely insane with, you know, character, story, and scope. So I wouldn't be surprised if they'd pull it off. But, you know, I'm drinking tea. So yeah, Willem Dafoe. I don't know how that's going to work, though. Because, you know, he's dead, so it could be a different universe, slightly altered version of him where he didn't die, so I can't really say. But I'm excited. That seems like that seems genuinely like a really good fit. Like, I think it was only a matter of time till you brought that guy back in some form, you know? Because famously, you know, Willem Dafoe is the best version of Green Goblin. You know, he is the definitive version of that character. And, you know, you really can't get much better than that guy. You know, there are just certain actors and characters you just don't reenact or recast, I mean. You know? Another rumor is Spider-Man 4 is reportedly to be in development, which is not exactly surprising. You know, reportedly at least. Which wouldn't surprise me because, you know, basically, you know, crap, I just lost my train of thought. Because basically, a while back, there was kind of the rumor that Marvel wanted to make 3 separate trilogies with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. One where he's like in high school, then another trilogy where he's like in college as a young college student, then another trilogy as a young adult and whatnot. So that was kind of the idea, that they'd do 3 trilogies, but that kind of went down the can when the whole, you know, in 2019 when Spider-Man was taken out of the MCU for a short time. You know? So, sorry, I'm using my pen. But, you know, now that reportedly because obviously he's back, and that Sony a while back said that they wanted to continue, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept going down that route. It would make sense. So, you know. Let's see. What other news? Wow. A rare silver morph ball python. It's this really shiny python. Weird. Anywho. Let's see. Let's look up some entertainment news to talk about. Let's just look up nerdy news. I don't know. Well, I guess we could break down. Ooh, yeah, this is what we can do. The Mandalorian. Spoilers for season 1 and 2, because I'm gonna break this down. So basically, kind of predictions for the Mandalorian season 3 and maybe some Boba Fett stuff. You know, basically, famously at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, massive spoiler alert for the end of that. This is your warning. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So at the end of The Mandalorian season 2, famously Luke Skywalker came and saved Grogu, Baby Yoda. He will always be Baby Yoda. I don't care about Grogu or the child or whatever. He's Baby Yoda. That's the name. It's sticking. Even though he isn't, you know, obviously Yoda. But basically, Luke came and saved, Grogu, Baby Yoda. And now, let me adjust my mic, there we go. Basically now, Mando is he's kind of like lost, I would assume. Because he deeply cared for Baby Yoda, And he cared for him and loved him like he was his adopted son, basically. And now that Luke Skywalker took him for a while to train, he probably won't see him for a while. I would say for at least a season or two, I think obviously they'll see him again because Baby Yoda is he is a merch dominating machine. Like, he makes so much money for, Star Wars and Disney. So they're not just going to, throw him away. And they're not going to kill him off, because you're not going to kill off Baby Yoda, even though in the sequel trilogy, stuff like, the whole reformed Jedi Temple goes to heck. So, but yeah, now, basically Mando, he's taking care of Baby Yoda. Now what does he do? Because now what is kind of his purpose in the galaxy, now that he has taken care of, Baby Yoda? What does he do? Where does he go? What does he get, involved in? So, I got predictions here, and I'm so excited to talk about this. I love talking about nerd stuff, and if you want me to keep talking about nerd stuff, say it in the comments below. But basically, it seems like, let's get into this. So my predictions for season 3 of The Mandalorian, and many others have talked about this. It's pretty darn obvious, and I'd say it's guaranteed 100% that they are gearing up for another Mandalorian Civil War. Because basically, famously, at the end of season 2, sorry, I have to adjust my stuff to get comfortable. Sorry, I'll fix all this someday. But no, basically, at the end of season 2, Moff Gideon, and this is why I love Moff Gideon as a villain. He is such a genius. He is such an amazing villain. He's out there for being one of the best Star Wars villains, I'd say. He's so good. But basically, he gets into a lightsaber duel, or at least he has a lightsaber, the dark saber and whatnot, and gets into a duel with Mando and whatnot, and he lets Mando win because he was defeated very easily. And Moff Gideon, I know 100%, can, he can probably do well against Mando, but he gave up really, really easily, and that was all by plan. Because Moff Gideon is a tactical genius. He was I think it was an ISB agent, or ESB. What? Imperial Security Bureau. I think is what it's called. ISB. Which is, Imperial Security Bureau. Which basically is the law enforcement and agency and whatnot for the Imperials and whatnot. So basically, he was a genius and whatnot because he worked in that. He did that. That was his job, and he knows about the Darksaber and its history and whatnot. Because famously, if you don't know what the Darksaber is, it's one of the more unique lightsabers in Star Wars. Basically, the Darksaber was a lightsaber created by the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order, Tar Vizsla, and the only one so far that we know of. And basically, he created this Darksaber because the name implies it. It is a very unique lightsaber because the blade is, the solid part of the blade in the middle is black, and on the outside it's white. So it's sort of like a black hole for a lightsaber blade. It's really cool. Not like visually, not literally, because everyone would die. But Yeah, it's a very unique lightsaber because also it's unique because it actually has like a physical blade. You know, usually lightsabers are like these long poles, while the dark saber is like a physical, like sharp, like sword blade, you know. And it was basically created by this Jedi who is a Mandalorian called Tar Vizsla. And basically, after he died, the Jedi basically had taken the Darksaber back and put it in the Jedi Temple. But later, Mandalorian snuck into the Jedi Temple and stole the thing and took it back. And for thousands and thousands of years, people have been fighting over the blade. Because basically, whoever holds the Darksaber, who wields it, is basically the leader of the planet Mandalore. So now Mando is stuck in this situation because he has the Darksaber. He's got the Darksaber and whatnot. He has it, and he didn't want it. He famously said, like, I want nothing to do with this. Which is, to be fair, it's part of his character. But, you know, he basically said, like, you can have the thing, I don't want it. But because of the rules surrounding the Darksaber, he couldn't give it back to Bo-Katan. Because basically, you have to win the Darksaber in combat to actually have it. So Bo-Katan can't just take it from him and whatnot. You know, or I mean, you know, Mando can't just give it to her. She has to defeat him in combat. So they set him up in this very precarious situation. All by design, because Moff Gideon wanted to do that so he could kind of escape and cause everyone to fight and kill each other. And that's the thing, is like, when right before Luke's X-Wing shows up, Red 5, you can see that Bo-Katan is looking at Mando, and you can tell that she's genuinely considering doing something. That's the thing, is Mando and Bo-Katan, they're not exactly on the best relationship. They don't hate each other, but they're not really good friends. They're just people that sort of have similar goals that line up and whatnot. So they're not necessarily friends and whatnot. And the entire season, a lot of it is about Bo-Katan being very power hungry. She really, really wants that Darksaber because she wants to take it back so she can unite all of Mandalore. Because basically after, you know, the Mandalorian Civil Wars and, you know, the Great Purge, Mandalore is kind of fractured. Mandalorians are just kind of stuck everywhere across the galaxy. And, you know, everyone's kind of fractured into these sort of like splinter groups, similar to the Empire in ways. And sorry, I had to chug some water. I was really thirsty. But, crap, hold on. Who cares? I'll get off in a sec. But, basically, now he's stuck in this situation, because Bo-Katan clearly wants this, and he literally is stuck in this situation now because he has to realize eventually that to the Mandalorians, he is literally the most important human being in the galaxy to them. Because every Mandalorian right now realizes that the Darksaber is now out of the Empire's hands, and a Mandalorian has it. So this is literally, they're clearly setting up the Mandalorian Civil War. Because now Mando is, I mean, like, at the end of Season 2, we're like, well, what does he do now? And they expertly, literally thrust him into this situation where he is now stuck to it. He can't just walk away from all of this. Like, he literally is stuck because now every Mandalorian is going to be gunning for him, trying to take back that Darksaber. So now he is in some deep, deep trouble because everybody is coming for him. So he doesn't exactly know what to do now, because he doesn't really care about Mandalore or any of that stuff. He just literally just wants out of stuff. He just doesn't want in it. And now he's stuck in this situation. So it seems like they are setting up this Mandalorian Civil War. And I would assume that next season, we're probably going to actually physically go to Mandalore. And that's the thing, is you might think if you watch the show, well, it's like, oh, well, Mandalore's been destroyed. Because, famously, the Empire said that, like, they went in and crushed everything and destroyed it and all that. But Bo-Katan has recently said, like, don't believe everything you hear and whatnot. So now, Mando is probably going to go to Mandalore. And he's going to be... It's really interesting because it's like... This could kind of be like a sort of like Game of Thrones season. Like Game of Thrones, everybody's fighting over the Iron Throne. Now everybody in this is going to be fighting over the Darksaber to rule Mandalore. So it's actually a really, really interesting idea, honestly. Hold on. I'm getting hot and I need to turn on the AC. I'll be right back. Take that off. Alrighty, I'm back. I also have candy. Okay. I bought a bag of those, what do they call them? Those conversation heart things. Okay, let's pick one out and read one. This says, yeah, right. I want that on my grave. Yeah, right. That's your, like 10-second, tingle ASMR. Here's the thing. Would anyone want me to do one of them? Because if you want me to, I will. I'll do that if you want me to. Anywho, crap, I didn't open up the vent. There we go, cold air. Yay! Ugh. Everyone's probably like, why do you want cold air in your house? It's like February. Why? I get really hot easily. And no, it's not because of my attractive looks. I'm joking. But yeah, that's what it seems like they're setting up for season 3. As for like the Ahsoka series, seems like they're setting up the whole Grand Admiral Thrawn Rebels thing, because reportedly the Rebels sequel has been kind of canceled. Rumor has it, and it's basically becoming the Ahsoka series. That's going to be like the Rebels sequel series, basically. And I have a gut feeling that in that, Rex is probably going to show up, and he probably will die. And that makes me very sad, because I love that character. But, yeah, I don't know. Anywho, yeah. Then, the Book of Boba Fett series that's coming out, later this year in December, which I am very excited for. That's the one I'm most excited for, next to the Acolyte, because I love Boba Fett. He's my favorite Star Wars character. That's going to be interesting, because the post-credit scene showed that he is now basically... He killed Bib Fortuna, shot that stupid, ugly disgusting alien-looking dude in the chest, and now sits on Jabba's throne. So now he is literally ruling in Jabba's palace with Fennec Shan, you know. So that's going to be interesting. And so what is the show going to be about? I don't know, actually. It's called The Book of Boba Fett, so, like, it's probably about, like, you know, his life. Because reportedly, I think they said it was like a prequel series where, you know, they could be bringing in elements from the canceled Boba Fett film, because reportedly the Boba Fett film was going to be about young and old Boba Fett, where it would, like, flash back and forth and whatnot. So it seems like this is probably going to be sort of a book about his life. I would assume it would probably be, where it would start would be at the end of, you know, like the Clone Wars, basically, when we last saw him, and then. Because from what I know, at least right now, in canon, from when we saw him in Rebels and then sort of in A New Hope, not Rebels, the Clone Wars, I mean, in A New Hope, technically, because he was in that, like, special edition scene, whatever, technically in Empire Strikes Back, but from, you know, Clone Wars to, you know, the original trilogy, we don't really know in canon a whole lot about what happened to him. Because, you know, famously, you know, we really haven't seen a whole lot in canon. There isn't a whole lot about him from that time period. So the problem is, like, well, it's not really a problem. It's just like we have literally no, because that's like 2 decades long. Because basically from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope is 19 years. That's 2 decades. So basically, for 2 entire decades, we have no idea what Boba Fett did. We probably know a little bit, but from what I know in canon, we don't exactly know a whole lot. That hasn't really been filled in very much. So, I don't know what would happen. But I'm excited because they could use some of those elements from, you know, like Legends in the expanded universe, you know, all the decanonized stuff, because they're bringing in a lot of EU stuff back. But also, they could, like I said, bring stuff from the Boba Fett film that got canceled, but also maybe even some Star Wars Underworld, because if you don't know or not Underworld, what is it? 1313. If you don't know what Star Wars 1313 is, it's one of the greatest canceled video games ever, you know, canceled, basically, because what happened was, it was basically a Star Wars game about where you would play as a young Boba Fett in the underworld of Coruscant. You know, basically deep down under the, you know, surface of Coruscant, there are these giant whole ring things where all these thousands of different levels and whatnot. Basically, different, like, cities and, you know, things. Like class groups and, you know, oh, you got an industrial ring, then you got a one where it's, like, full of a bunch of criminals and, you know, stuff like that, and another one where it's waste material, and then, like, mutant monsters and whatnot. So, basically, you would play as a young Boba Fett, and that would kind of fill in a lot of what it was like for him to what happened to him, how he became the Boba Fett we know. So, they could probably fill in some of that, I would say. Because that isn't necessarily something we've seen a whole lot, like I said. I also would bet my money this is when we figure out how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit. Because we don't know how he got out. Like, in Legends, we figured out how he got out. But, like, now in canon, we still have no clue how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Because, like, in Legends, basically, originally, The first time he got stuck in the Sarlacc pit, he blasted out with his jetpack. Then the second time when he got stuck back in the same Sarlacc pit, he basically caused the Sarlacc to cause his jetpack to explode, and he literally blew himself out of the Sarlacc. But we don't know in canon. But we do kind of have some theories. One of the theories is because in season 2 of The Mandalorian, we hear the line that, Mando is talking about an empty Sarlacc pit, and Cobb Vanth is like, I've been on Tatooine for a long time, and there's nothing as an abandoned Sarlacc pit. And he's like, there is if you eat the Sarlacc. So the Krayt Dragon very well could have ate Boba Fett by accident. Like, the Krayt Dragon could have gone in, ate the Sarlacc, and in turn Boba Fett, then puked him out later when they shot out the acid vomit. So, and that could be true because you see a lot of acidic corrosion on his armor before you repainted it. To be fair, that is most likely because of the Sarlacc, because famously, C3PO, I can't say that guy's name for the life of me. He famously said, you'll be digested over the course of 1,000 years and whatnot with this stomach acid. So, I could lay out a couple theories. My guess is that he probably either got out by a combination of either his jetpack and all the tools and gadgets he had on him to fly out or blast his way out, or he got ate by, the Sarlacc, which was then ate by the Krayt Dragon and whatnot. Or it could have just been Jabba's sail barge, because Jabba's sail barge literally blew up and whatnot. And if I remember right, in the EU, it blew up and killed the Sarlacc, so he could have got out that way. As to who saved him, that remains to be seen. Because from what I've heard theories-wise, here's the thing, is that, I would have to say that one of the big theories, and the main one, which I actually genuinely believe is 100% true, is that the Tusken Raiders took him in and saved him. Because in season 2, before he gets the armor and whatnot, you see he has this sort of Tusken Raider tunic on him, and a cycler rifle and a gaffy stick, which are weapons and clothing the Tusken Raiders use and have. So what I think probably happened is he somehow got out of the Sarlacc pit, then was barely clinging on to life, and whatnot. And I think it probably would have been the Tusken Raiders, because somebody said that they laid out, which makes sense, is it would have probably had to have been the Tusken Raiders that would have saved him, because if Boba Fett was... Because obviously his armor had to get off somehow, and I wouldn't think... They said, if he was awake and whatnot, the Jawas probably couldn't have taken his armor off, because even in such a bad state, on near the brink of death, I think Boba Fett easily could have killed some Jawas, as they said. So it probably would have been the Tusken Raiders, because what probably would have happened is the guy was probably barely alive, half conscious or unconscious. Then the Tusken Raiders came upon him, and they were like, okay, we got to heal this guy up, we got to get his armor off and whatnot. So they probably took it off and whatnot, then just left it there on the ground while he was being healed, even though he didn't know his armor was taken off, whatever. So I would say it's probably a combination of either the Krayt Dragon or him blasting his way out in some form. Then he got picked up by a bunch of Tusken Raiders. They healed him, took him in, but they left his armor out in the desert, and that's how the Jawas got the armor that got to Cobb Vanth. So that's probably how it's going to go. So I would say we are 100% finally going to find out how he got out of that Sarlacc pit. That is the biggest question regarding Boba Fett. So, I'm eating candy again. Let's see, what does this one say? LMAO. Haha. Want to listen to me break a finger? Oh, hold on. This is going to be hilarious. Oh, my leg! My leg! My leg! SpongeBob. I'm sorry I had to do that. Let's get into some questions now. Because questions are the greatest thing in the world. Okay, let's see. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far away. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let us look. Okay. Let's read. We got some questions here. Now let's read some of your questions. Greatest tips for getting over writer's block and self-doubt. Oh, geez. Getting over writer's block and self-doubt. Writer's block is famously, it's the bane of all creators, It's really, really rough. It's not easy, honestly. And I feel that really it kind of just depends on the person, I guess. I honestly really don't have much of an answer. But, I would say go watch some stuff, go listen to some stuff. Go get some inspiration from people. Whatever you're into, just go look out, watch movies, shows, games, anime, music, go watch stuff, go research, go do some stuff, go look at something, go out for a walk, and, I don't know, go look around the world and stuff, just kind of go out and look for stuff, just go out and, just do whatever and whatnot, and you might run into something that might give you an idea. I honestly don't have much of an idea. As for self-doubt, I deal with a lot of self-doubt. I worry, like, hey, is this whole career, voice acting, gonna be a bust? And I'm like, I don't know. But, it's up to you to go out and do that. It's up to you to go out, do whatever you want to do, and wow, I just realized I had 38.9 thousand. I'm sorry. I just immediately got distracted. I was like, oh, ooh. I cannot focus worth a darn. I can't. But no, as for self-doubt, just go ahead and do it. I worry about this. I'm worried that, hey, this might be a bust, but I gotta do it for myself. I gotta try. That's all you can do is try. Screw Yoda, by the way. Do or do not. There is no try. Screw that little green goofball. It's like, no, you have to at least try. Give it a try. Try and believe in yourself as best as you can. That's all you can really do is just give it a shot, You shouldn't worry about it at all. In the end, if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, it's fine. You'll figure out your purpose. Keep trying, try again. And then maybe you'll get it right, You just gotta try, really, honestly. That's basically all I can do. So I would say go out, get some inspiration from other people. And, just try. Just do your best. Okay, will you ever get a Patreon? That's hilarious. It's like for the past, it's like a month I've been talking about that. It's like, I got a Patreon. It's like, That's funny. That's funny. No, I do have a Patreon. And I do make more audios. So, yeah, you can check out my Patreon. I have the links in, all of my videos and on, my channel banner. On my page on desktop, so... Let's see. What would you do if some guy... I want to, be clear here. I am not a therapist, a doctor, a scientist, a licensed expert, so disclaimer. So, I'm not any of those things. I'm just some guy. If you really, really, need help for things and stuff, go talk to professionals, to the authorities, I want to make that clear. So, any advice on how to deal with abuse? So, like I said, I want to make it clear, I am not a doctor or, a therapist or any of that, so... deal with abuse. I would immediately go talk to the authorities or someone, friend. It depends on who it is, like a family member, if it's a friend or a coworker, I don't know, but whoever it is, I would immediately go to the authorities. I know obviously that's going to be scary because you're worried that it might, not go well and whatnot, but, no, you have to go to the authorities. If you are genuinely, being abused in any form, you need to tell someone and you need to go to the authorities. Someone you trust, someone you believe in, and you need to go to the authorities, immediately. You really do. Because if you are being abused, you gotta talk to some professionals, because I can't really help you. So I would say immediately talk to the authorities, tell people you trust, get some help, there are people out there who deal with this stuff who want to help you. So I would talk to professionals. Like I said, I am not a doctor, therapist, an authority. I'm not any of those things, so I don't know, anything. So I would, go talk to someone who actually knows about this stuff, and whatnot. So I would go talk to the authorities. So, yeah. But like I said, I'm not a doctor or a therapist or, a cop or anything like that, so I can't really help you. But I'd talk to the authorities immediately, So good luck. Take care, okay? Okay, let's see, what would you do if some guy called a family member or friend started dropping, cuss words and calling people nasty names? Just happened to your family. I would, you know, first of all, I would, like I said, I'm not a doctor or a therapist or anything like that. I'm not any of that stuff, so I'm just some dork. So talk to the authorities and professionals about this. But my advice, I'd say take care of yourself and your family. I would say, like stand up. Stand up to this person. Be like, what you're doing is not okay. I'm not going to tolerate this. Do not say that stuff again, Don't be threatening. Don't, try and get into a fight. But just stand up to him, for your family or friends or whatever. Stand up to him. Say, can't do that. Get out of here. Stop saying that stuff. We don't tolerate that. I would say, just stand up for yourself and your family, So, good luck to you. How to get an idea for a voice acting script. Inspiration and ideas to write. I would go, like I said before, I would go get inspiration from other people. I'd get inspiration from, people who, who have made some great films and shows and stuff like that. I would go watch some stuff, listen to some stuff, kind of get inspiration from that. So, sorry, my English is so bad. No, you're fine. Don't worry. You're actually pretty good. I would say go get some inspiration from some other people and whatnot, because I feel that inspiration is always really vital, I would say, Inspiration is vital in all forms. And, things. So personally, I would say go get some inspiration from somewhere. Go watch some movies, some shows, play some games, listen to some stuff, and whatnot, If you want, you can look at some of the stuff I've made, to kind of get some inspiration from, if you want. I'd say just go kind of get inspiration from people. Do I like muffins? Yes, I do. I very much. I actually went to the store last night and bought some lemon poppy seed muffin mix because I wanted to make some. Because I remembered as a kid, my family, my aunt would always make them, and they're so good. So I've never made any muffins, Okay, these are a lot of serious questions, but, I'm here for you all. I'm here to give you advice. But like I said, I want to make it clear, I'm not a doctor, a therapist, a scientist, and a person like a cop or something. I'm literally just some dork online. So I would immediately say that, probably go to professionals, people who are experienced in these fields and whatnot, stuff like this. So I would say go to a therapist, go to a doctor, listen to them, listen to the professionals, because I can't really help you, but I'll try and give you some advice and whatnot. But like I said, not a professional, disclaimer. So go talk to a professional. But I'll at least cover this. So, how do you cope healthfully? Just with problems and stuff in life. That's tough to say. First of all, don't hurt yourself. Don't, harm yourself. Don't cut. Don't scratch. Don't do any of that stuff. Okay? Don't do any of that. get to you know, get to a doctor and a therapist, because they definitely can help you. They know what they're doing. You know, they're professionals in this. You know, they know what they're doing. So I would say immediately just, you know, click off this and go talk to a professional, because I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, but in the end, hurting yourself, it's not worth it. In the end, it does nothing. You know, it doesn't help you at all, you know. But, you know, talking to professionals and people like that, your family, friends, they can help you. They can help you get through this. So I would say my advice is, go to doctors, go to therapists, you know. So, yeah, but like I said, my main advice is just go to someone, go to therapists, go to doctors, but I would say, if I had to say something, take the things in life you care about the most, that you love, you know, like, you know, your favorite hobbies, stuff you like doing with your family, your friends, your job, your profession, you know, get stuck in that and have fun, you know, really work and, you know, accomplish some stuff in your field, you know, like play games, watch movies, stuff like that, listen to music. Music is a great thing. If you have pets, go, you know, like if you have like a dog or a cat, you know, go cuddle with them. They care about you. They can tell when you're not in, you know, a good way. I would say if you don't have a pet, I'd consider adopting one or getting like a dog. Dogs are the best. You know, like I got Charlie because my health wasn't doing great. You know, like I started having anxiety and panic attacks, and I also, you know, my health problems were kind of diving down. So that I got him, and he helped me tremendously. So, but try those things. Do stuff you like, stuff that'll help you, make you happy. Obviously, not doing, you know, hurting yourself. That doesn't help. I'm not saying go do that. I mean, just go do your favorite hobbies, talk to your friends, you know, stuff I just mentioned. So don't hurt yourself, and just go talk to a professional. Go to a therapist. But, you know, because I can't really help you. But I really hope you get better. I hope things get better for you, and go talk to a professional, and the best of luck to you. It's going to be all right, I promise. Trust me. I've learned over the years that life could be pretty horrible, but eventually after, you know, a certain amount of time, things do get better. You know, for years I was really, really sick, and I was always in pain, but eventually it got to the point where I can manage that pain and, you know, I have a pretty normal life. So, you know, so take it from me, a person who had one of the worst diseases you can get, chronic pancreatitis, which I still have. But, you know, take it from me that, you know, you can get better. So, okay, let's see this one. Ugh, it's disgusting. I'm drinking this, like, tea stuff, and it's nasty. Ugh. It's gross. But, you know. Okay. My best friend is bisexual, and he lives in a strict Christian Asian household, and I'm pretty sure his grandparents are homophobic. Any advice for him? Oh wow, this is intense. Jeez. Let me adjust my mic. Oh man. I'd say, you know, like, just, I'd say, tell your friend to maybe, sit down. His grandparents are homophobic, so like his mom, his dad, or dads or moms, just is like his family, his parents, and brothers and sisters and whatnot. Are they okay with it, or is it just his grandparents? So I'll just assume it's the grandparents. So like I said, not a genius on this stuff, so I'd go talk to a professional. But advice for me, I would say probably just tell him to go and have him sit down with them. Just have a sit down with them and just kind of sit down and just talk, Tell him, like, this is who I am. These are the people I like. Oops. I like men and women. This is the way I've always been. I love men and women and whatnot. Just have a nice sit down and a conversation, and just have him just kind of explain all of it and whatnot, and try and get him to make his grandparents understand a bit, to kind of learn to figure out what to do. I would say just have a sit down and a talk. Just tell him, like, this is just who I am. Like, I love you. You're my grandparents. I love you more than anything in the world and whatnot. And I would hope that you would have that same love for me despite, your religious beliefs and whatnot. I'd say just have a nice sit down conversation. That's my advice. I would say just have, a sit down conversation and just kind of talk things out. Drop my pen. So that's personally what I would say. I would just say have a nice little sit-down conversation and try and explain, everything. So that's what I'd say. I would say that. Okay, do you like Genshin Impact? I have no idea what that is. Okay, also, how can I stop changing myself for others to like me? Please, it's a problem. Also, your voice is heavenly. Have a good day. Okay, I feel so much like Bill Burr right now. One of the big inspirations for this podcast is, Joe Rogan. The Monday Morning Podcast, Two Bears, One Cave, so this is kind of, he's a big inspiration for me. So, I really do feel like him right now. But, as to your question, how can I stop changing myself for others to like me? That's tough. That's really tough, because that's kind of something you have to really do yourself. I would say just try and give yourself self-esteem. Like, this is what I'd say. I would say go out and start hitting the gym, eating healthy, reading books, just being yourself while also, like, building yourself up, getting healthy, getting jacked, get fit, get knowledgeable, read stuff, learn, get into something. I'd say, like, maybe like a career, like get a job you can work at, something like that. Set goals for yourself and just try and build yourself up as a human being, and just be yourself in the end. I would say, build yourself up and just be yourself, I would say. That I feel is a good idea. You have to be happy with yourself, I would suppose. So there's nothing wrong with you at the end of the day, obviously, but building yourself up, from what I've heard, really does help. So do stuff like that, build yourself up, and just try and believe in yourself in any way. Just be yourself. So so yeah. Okay, let's end this podcast on a funny question. This is still lit. This one's gonna be funny. How many push-ups can you do? Oh man, that's funny. How many push-ups can you do? It used to be like not even like 5. That's hilarious. All in one go, I would say like 40, at least 40. I need to start working out a bit more too. I haven't worked out a whole lot in a bit since I, got out of the hospital. So, I would say, I would say at minimum 40. That's the most I've done, like minimum 40. Lately, past couple months, I've been really working out a lot. I've been surprisingly, I've been building up a lot more muscles. Like my right bicep is it's huge. Oh my gosh. It's not as big as it used to be a couple weeks ago, but man, it is huge. I went from its circumference or whatever they say, size, flexing, from, in the span of 2 months, I went from 11 3/4 inches to 12 1/4 inches, no joke. In the span of 2 months, my right bicep got that big. That's pretty nuts. My left one, I need to kind of needs to get bigger because it's kind of small. Because my right arm is my, dominant arm. But yeah, that's it for the podcast today. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope all of you, get the help you need. I hope your problems get taken care of. Like I said, I am not a licensed doctor, therapist, cop, you name it. But I would I'd just say go get help from professionals. Excuse me. Because they know what they're doing, and they're in this field as a profession, so they know what they're doing. So if it was up, my advice is just go talk to them. And at the end of the day, I really do hope all you get the help you need, and you're all happy and whatnot. So, I hope all of you take care, and I'll see you next tomorrow. Today's Friday, but Saturday, which is tomorrow, this podcast will release, and then tomorrow I'll also release a short blooper reel, the weekly blooper reel on Saturday, tomorrow, and I will also officially release my next audio, which is a male for male one. So that one ought to be cool. So, yep, that's my content, and basically tomorrow when this releases, I will see you next Tuesday, where I'll be back at work and whatnot. So thank you all, take care, and peace. That's my pen. I'm sorry. Goodbye.